Okay, so this is 3.4 Quack Part 2, and we're going to talk about openers, closers, and interrupters. Okay, so first you want to use a comma to set off an opener. So you would have an opener, comma, and then the rest of your sentence. The opener could be a word, it could be a phrase, or it could be a clause. This is pretty much the same structure for creating an AWUBIS sentence. Basically, you're going to use a comma after an introduction or an opener, and we'll go through some examples at the end. For a closer, it works pretty much the same way. You're going to use a comma to set off a closer. So you'll have your sentence, comma, and then a closer. You're using a comma to set off additional information if it's after an independent clause and the additions modify or describe elements of that clause. And then for an interrupter, you're going to use two commas to set off an interrupter. You'll have the first part of the sentence, a comma, the interrupter, a comma, and then the end of the sentence. When a group of words interrupts a sentence, it needs to have commas on both sides, so you'll use two commas to set off the non-essential information. So in our first example, we have an opener. After chasing the ice cream truck 2 blocks, Priscilla and I realized we didn't have any money. Okay, so here we would need a comma after our opener, after chasing the ice cream truck 2 blocks. Okay, notice this is also an AWUBIS word, but it does work the same way. Okay, so in example 2, if there were an Olympic contest for eating gummy bunnies, I would definitely win. Okay, same thing here. If we need to have an opener, we have that AWUBIS word if. There were an Olympic contest for eating gummy bunnies, we would need a comma after bunnies. Okay, and then the last example, Meredith, my nonchalant, easygoing sister, wasn't bothered that the stormy day resulted in a rescheduled photo shoot. Okay, so here we actually have an interrupter. So we have Meredith, and then we're describing Meredith with some other information, my nonchalant, easygoing sister. So we would need to set that off with two different commas. So Meredith, comma, my nonchalant, easygoing sister, wasn't bothered that the stormy day resulted in a rescheduled photo shoot. Okay, same thing with a closer as with an opener. So if we had a closer at the end of the sentence, like for example, in this sentence, if we had Meredith, my nonchalant, easygoing sister, wasn't bothered that the stormy day resulted in a rescheduled photo shoot, and then we maybe even added something after that, like we would put a comma, and then maybe we say something at the end like after it had already been scheduled 3 times or something, that we added some non-essential information at the end there. You might want to add that comma. So those are the rules for openers, closers, and interrupters.